when the Swiss National Bank intervenes and it buys up foreign currency, then it takes those currencies. Does it just sit on the currency, or does it go buy like foreign bonds, foreign equities? What does it do with the investments it owns?
Well, they buy different assets, and they have on their balance sheet different assets. And among some of the assets that they have U.S. equities, actually. We don't know exactly the composition, the granularity of all these assets. But for example, you can infer that by looking at regulatory, the SEC in the United States, because depending on the amount of share of Apple, for example, that you have, you need to report it. So to the extent to which you are a big shareholder, you can infer it from the US side rather than from the balance sheet of the S&P. So they have equities, they have bonds in Europe and in the United States. So I don't know the details of that because I haven't looked carefully at it. But it's not something that they have publicly available. They release a composition in terms of currency, if I'm not mistaken, and possibly also composition in terms of type of asset, but that I'm not 100% sure.
But they are buying equity. The point is they do buy equities. They do buy stocks, which is, for many central banks, that's very unorthodox, right? On the asset side to buy up equity. Now, the Bank of Japan has ETFs, I believe, that are, equity, tied to equity. I mean, you could argue one benefit of doing that is, even though there might be valuation changes, so the value of, those assets go down as your currency goes up. The flip side is maybe those equities are actually earning some return. There's some cushion. The equities themselves may grow in value, right? So even though you have a foreign exchange valuation effect, maybe they're generating. So maybe it softens the blow, the loss on the asset side. I remember someone from the Bank of Japan told me that. I saw a former leader from the Bank of Japan, and I asked him about all their equity holdings. He goes, well, hey, look at us. We're not suffering the same type of losses that you are at the Fed. I was like, okay, very interesting argument.